I think it took me a lot of courage, first of all, to actually quit my first career, which was actually being an accountant. My parents wanted me to be an accountant because it was a very stable career choice. And I remember quitting that the first time being the most scariest thing because I had studied for it my whole life, I had prepared for it my whole life, but it really was not something that I wanted to do. I can also say I'm very lucky to have being able to make it a career. It's not given that if you quit your job, you're gonna be a great YouTuber or you're gonna have the numbers or people are gonna watch you. I did work on it all the time, and I remember every single video I made, it got down to the point where I was like, every second of footage mattered to me. I would cut it out if it wasn't supposed to be there. I would consider every second, every millisecond of footage when I was making my videos. Like, I really was putting 100% of it, my effort to it at the time, and that's when I really saw the results, because I think people saw that too in the videos I produced. So yeah, I think if you were to quit your job, my advice is just give it 100% and don't fool yourself into thinking you are just because you quit your job. That's not the marker. The marker is now you're moving on to the next thing and how much effort are you putting into it. So when I was growing up, I always felt a little bit different to everyone else, and also in mainstream pop and media, I didn't see anyone that looked like me. So when I was growing up, I remember getting in touch with my culture by listening to music. So I listened to Chinese pop music, I listened to Japanese pop music and Korean pop music. And that was a big part of my life when I was trying to find myself and figure out who I am during, high school. And so for me, my music project that, I embarked on is how can I fuse East meets West, like my love for K-pop, C-pop, J-pop with American pop. How can I fuse those two together? So why Mr. Nice Guy was very important to me, special to me. It's my first international collaboration with a Filipino artist. So Inigo Pascual, who's my collaborator on the project, he's got the most viewed music video in the Philippines. He's like a Billboard #1 artist from the Philippines. So I sang in their native language and learned that. I remember getting on the plane and getting the Tagalog lyrics and getting off the plane and then having to sing it. So it was a very short, intensive Tagalog course. And the whole time we were recording, I was like, does this sound right to you? I'm not sure because I have no gauge. But they were like, yeah, it sounds really good. So I was really, really glad that I could pull that off. We filmed the video in the Philippines as well. And yeah, it was just a fun experience. I experienced a lot of Filipino culture. I experienced a lot of language and diversity. And that's what my music project is about. Me to be able to experience these crazy things. So Talk Talk is about, we all have someone like this in our life. It's probably a significant other, someone a friend, but they're just all talk. They say a lot of things, but nothing ever follows through. So this song is kind of about someone like that, and just finally I'm not taking it anymore, this is not respectful to me. So that's what Talk Talk about. One of my favorite K-pop groups, Twice, they have #1 hits like Yes or Yes, and I was very lucky to be able to work with a producer that produced that and the songwriting team that wrote that. So I was like, wow, this is a moment for me to be able to work with the same team as K-pop groups that I've admired for so long. To have this song, to be able to work with them was just an amazing experience. I think Cartoon Network saw my channel, my vibe, and thought I was perfect for, their 4th Powerpuff Girl, Bliss. So she's an older sister to the 3 Powerpuff Girls. She comes in, she's kind of vulnerable at the same time, but very, very powerful. So she's very powerful, but can't control her powers. And they basically just emailed me and they're like, hey, are you interested in this opportunity? At first I was like, is this real? Is this spam? And I forwarded it to my team going, can you please validate that this is a real offer, because I can't believe this is happening. Such an amazing experience. It was my first time voice acting, and I learned how hard it was. There was a lot of skills that go into voice acting, and I had a coach with me to help me throughout the way. I've always loved the Powerpuff Girls, and for me to be one was a dream come true. And I actually got to come back on an episode after and kiss a boy, so that was really cool. The boy she kissed didn't turn out great. You know how the story goes. Still single, very sad, but yeah, hopefully they bring me back. Ooh, out of respect to my partner. Wait, BTS, call me. Please collaborate with me, BTS. I'm here. Hey Hollywood Life, I loved being in the interview with you. Please subscribe to Hollywood Life down below.